Hi there, Taurus. Welcome to your end of August 2023 General Tarot Update. It's Raina here. So this is a new deck of mine. I'll show you the back. It's called the Crystal Magic. And there's a crystal associated with each card. So if you know anything about crystals, you can get a better grasp of what the energy is of that card. Okay. The heart of the matter is the King of Cups. And some of these, it's funny because some of these crystals I've never heard of, sugar light or whatever it's called. And I'm not going to talk about the crystals, but anyway, the King of Cups can be a mature, emotionally mature male. Sometimes this will be chronologically older than you, but just to me, it's less about how old the person is and how much they represent the highest level of that suit. So with cups, the emotions are at their most mature. That means that the person is not manipulative and that they are controlled, but they probably still can show emotion, unlike the King of Swords or something like that. So for you, Taurus, this may be somebody that you're dealing with or somebody that is good for you to deal with. If you have had other types of relationships in the past that didn't involve that kind of quality, that could be the difference between a relationship that works for you and one that doesn't. In the past position, we have the Four of Coins, which is the Four of Pentacles. And this is a card of financial security. Or financial security, it can be sometimes excessive caution with your finances. So the King of Cups might be somebody who is helping you to transcend that because, being an earth sign like Taurus means that you are part of Pentacles. And the thing about that is that if a person is so caught up in the material, when they're looking for love, for instance, they may be focused on things that ultimately are not that important, and so they might not be choosing as wisely as they could be or should be. So that could be one of the things that is going on for you. Also, okay, well, let me just keep going and I'll add to that. The higher message is the Queen of Cups. So we have the King of Cups and the Queen of Cups, but this is as a spiritual lesson. This is about psychic activity and artistic things that you're involved with. And so maybe some of you have been making a switch or transition from being overly concerned with finances, or we don't have to say overly. We can just say you were building your foundation. The number 4 is about foundations. And now you have the ability to go into other things. Maybe the King of Cups is like a guru or some kind of spiritual advisor. And it's going to help you, or this person might help you to become more like the Queen of Cups. This can be the psychic. This can be the artist, too. That's an important one as well, where people may have talent, but then they say, I can't make that much money. Well, then they might go into a different direction, and eventually they come back to their first love. So with Uranus in your sign, you're probably willing to be seen in a more unconventional way than you have in the past, and to maybe even take more risks, to be a little bit unpredictable to the people that love you, because you're probably a pretty predictable person, but in a good way. You're stable, you are solid. But that can lead to being in a rut sometimes if the person is just wash, rinse, repeat, and just never venturing out with other things. So it's an important thing to consider. The card that crosses you is the Three of Swords. So this can be like, for instance, if there is a relationship that you're in right now that isn't serving you, you maybe it's on again, off again. That could be like draining your energy, because that person, you might have a pattern with that person where one of you breaks it off, and then you go your separate ways, and then the other person contacts that individual, or maybe the same person that breaks it off contacts that other person. And these kinds of things can happen. I mean, it might be like a karmic situation or what have you, but it doesn't serve you if there is some basic incompatibility or disharmony. So the Three of Swords in that context can be cutting something cleanly off so that it's off for good. Not in anger, not anything like that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about so you're not going back and forth with someone when it isn't probably a situation that you can overcome, where the differences might be so much that you can't overcome them. What's coming in is the Two of Swords. You may feel that you have this decision that you have to make. And again, it could have to do with your love life, but I do feel like with your career matters, Taurus, this could certainly be where you feel pulled, maybe in two different directions. And remember that you don't have to be a binary thinker. You don't have to choose between two things necessarily. Maybe sometimes you do, but maybe sometimes you don't. And maybe, just maybe, there might be a situation in your life where neither choice is appropriate for you, or you can do both. So just keep an open mind. Don't think that you have to make a major decision in one fell swoop. Also, if you are somebody who wants to transition from a job that you're not really enthused about to something that is kind of like your passion, remember that you can do so gradually, and that can provide you with the least amount of upheaval. Because sometimes people, even people who have a lot of common sense, like a Taurus person, may be overly optimistic or overly estimate how quickly they're going to be successful, and they might be surprised that it takes time for them to get a foothold in what they're trying to do. So what that can do is that can help you to, it's not even about buying time, it's about, dipping your toe in and gradually going after something. And at the beginning of the month, you had a full moon in Aquarius, which is the 10th house of career. I have Sagittarius rising, so this occurred in my 10th house as well. And this, for some people, can be like the end of one chapter of your career. It doesn't mean it's the end of the career. You might be doing things in a different way. Maybe some people are going into completely different lines of work. But there was an astrological transit that supports that. The outcome card is the Ten of Wands. This is a card of, in one of my books, they call it the burden of success, or the burdens of success, maybe. And this is when you're working quite a bit. And if you find that this full moon has brought with it extra work or more offers, more activity in this area of career, and maybe it feels overwhelming. Also with the Ten of Wands, if you feel like you're doing the work of two people, maybe you're in a situation where somebody is not in the office and you have to kind of cover for yourself and that person, that can lead to a lot of feelings of overwhelm, overwork. Be careful that you don't push yourself too hard. But this could be a great time for you professionally, so embrace it. Jupiter, Jupiter's about to go retrograde in the 10th house. So it will be, I'm sorry, I said 10th house. What I meant was in the sign of Taurus. So this is something else that Taurus people have had as an influence recently, is Jupiter in your sign. So that pushes you to kind of some greater expansion. All right, and that's what I have for you guys. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.